this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Jira or Jira Service Desk to link up to Rundeck to solve problems when you create a certain type of ticket, and then mark that ticket with a comment and close it if it was successful. So we're going to show you how to send a webhook from Jira to Rundeck that will then trigger this job that adds a comment and then closes the Jira ticket back. So there's two products that Jira makes, and one is specific for Service Desk, and the other is their regular ticketing systems, what I call it, for software projects and so on. So let's start with that one first. So I'm going to create a ticket here by clicking on this plus button here, and then I'm going to call it, I'm going to choose task, then I'm going to call it Mike, and then the current time. And don't need a description, but I'm going to put in some letters there and click create. So it created this Mike 152 or Mike 8 here, and you can see it's already marked done, and it's already got a comment on it that says Rundeck fixed the problem, so this ticket will be closed or resolved. Now let's take a look at what it looks like in Rundeck. If we look at the activity log, we can see a job was triggered here, and it's a regular ticket test, and it passed along the payload. Now let's take a look at that particular job here. I've got this regular ticket test, and I'm going to look inside this job. And inside the workflow, you'll see those two API calls. In addition, there's the step that actually fixes the problem. Here's the step that does the API call. This is built into Rundeck, the request node step, and it does a JSON in the header, and then it fills in this information in the body, and then uses the API key, which I'll show you how to get using basic authentication, and uses the key storage within Rundeck to keep the password secret, and then print response. And now we're going to take a look at the one that marks it done. Now this is the URL of my Atlassian account, and it's a post, also JSON. This is a much shorter body. This is what actually transitions the ticket to done. Jira's design is such that they have code numbers that mark certain tickets to be done, and 41 is for that particular ticket type. And they have other calls so you can find out all the ticket transition types there. There's my API key and password. And now we'll take a look at the webhook. Now the webhook inside Rundeck is here on this webhooks page, and then we create a new webhook. We put in this option here, and this is the payload that's passed along to Rundeck. We link it to the job with this button here, and then when we're done and save it, we get this post URL back, which I'll show you where to put this in to Rundeck. Now let's close this, and in Rundeck I will click the settings button and the system button and scroll down here to webhooks. And then I created a webhook, and it looks like this. If we edit this, we can see this is where we put in the webhook that came out of Rundeck I just showed you. That's the URL for that. And then we trigger this when it's created, and we can filter out only specific tickets to trigger this webhook. But then you save it. And so that's what does that. Now to get the API token, you go to this specific URL. It's id.atlassian.com/manage/API tokens. This is where you create your API token. You grab that and put it into Rundeck in the key storage feature. So now let's show what a service desk looks like. It's very similar. Let's go back to Jira here. We'll click on this. I'll leave that alone. And it's this demo service desk. Again, this is a special product of theirs, tailored to IT service desk. You can see it's got a ticket queue here, and I'm going to click on plus and create a ticket, and I'll just choose IT help here and type in a summary, Mike, and then the time, again just some text in the description, and then click create. And it created demo 20, which is a ticket. You can see it's already resolved, and once this refreshes here, you can see that it added the comment to the ticket. And similarly, here in the activity log, you can see that it ran the job here, and inside of this service desk is very similar in terms of the steps in the workflow that it adds, we've got one that adds the comment. And again, this is a post with that URL. And there's the body that gets added with the text. And we can collapse this and go to the done. This is using transition ID number 761, which is closing an IT help ticket. There's the URL. Similarly, we got basic authentication with the API token, plugged in there. So that's talking back to Rundeck. And similarly, the webhook is the same sort of thing. Same payload. It's linked to its own job. And when you save that, you get the URL. Now let me show you where here. It's a little bit different. We're going to go into project settings as opposed to this gear. It's project settings. And then we go down to automation. And this is my custom rule, but you click add rule here. And I'm going to edit this, or view it actually. You can see when this happens, meaning issue created, send a webhook, and this is where you paste in the webhook URL that we got in the previous step. And you can put in other conditions here, such as urgency or other categories, etc. So that's how to integrate Jira or Jira Service Desk with Rundeck to automatically solve your problem and mark the ticket with a comment as well as resolve it, thus automating a ticket.